Okay, so we're back this week to talk about heat mitigation. And so if you've ever lived in the South, been to the South, taken your RV to the South, you know that that's one challenge, is you're always listening to the air conditioners run. Currently it's about 70 degrees in our house. It is, I think, 85 today outside. And ironically, the day we go to film, it's cloudy, but here's what I can tell you. We tried just about everything under the sun. We have the window darkening drapes right back there that are also the heat rejecting drapes. We put up all the aluminum foil and turned our house into basically a cave for 5 months. Then we started missing the sun, so we tried the at-home tint, the stuff you can buy at the big box stores. And I will tell you, I wish I had known to get professional grade tinting on the windows sooner. We do have single pane, not dual pane. I don't know how big of a difference that would make, but it is definitely worth the investment to get the windows tinted professionally. So we went with a commercial grade residential heat rejecting tint, and here's what I can tell you. So over the summer, Texas had some pretty bad heat.
From extreme flooding to the extreme heat that's impacting more than 50 million Americans from the Southwest to Midwest, as some parts of Texas could see the heat index topping 110.
It got real toasty, north of 110, 115 degrees for multiple days. Our house has stayed at between 70 and 75 degrees the entire time since we got the windows tinted. Before that, even with all of this stuff up and everything closed down and this place looking basically like the inside of a tomb, our house still struggled. It still went up to like 80 degrees with all of this stuff. So, I'm gonna kick it over to some footage showing how the tinting process worked, but I do want to give a shout out to the Tint Shop in Weatherford, Texas. I will tell you, from the moment I called them and started talking to them about getting tinting done for our RV, they were incredibly helpful. They said, hey, can you bring it in? I said, I won't fit in your parking lot, which is true. And they said, no worries, we'll come to you. No charge, mind you. Like, hadn't even worked on a service, on like paying for the service yet. They said, we can be there 2 days from today. Actually, I think it was the next day. I take that back, it was the next day. They came out, they measured all the windows. They said, cool, we're gonna go do some number crunching. We'll get back to you. They got back to me super quick. Ended up going with not nano ceramic like you would do for your car. We went with a commercial film, and wow. If you are anywhere near Weatherford, Texas, this is the tint shop to talk to. Whether or not you go take your rig in, if it's small enough, or if they come to you, night and day difference. You'll see, like, all of our windows are open right now. Everything. We don't have any of this up anymore. We ditched it that day to see the difference, and I'll show you some information because we use a temp stick to track it. So, Tint Shop in Weatherford, if you're anywhere near here, call them and schedule it, even if you're passing through. The installation took about 2.5 to 3 hours. You know, once they had the tint on hand, night and day difference. Come check this out.
Good morning, everyone. So got kind of an interesting thing going on before I go into work today. You'll notice that we have everything sort of pushed around and moved, and the reason being is today we are getting some residential heat rejecting tint installed on our windows. And to help you sort of understand, if you live anywhere in the South, you know that it gets a little toasty. Well, what we tried was back here is we tried this at-home Lowe's basically just do-it-yourself tint, and it works great, but as you can see, there's a difference in quality as far as how long it lasts. And so we're currently taking down all of our energy drapes. We're also taking this tint off. We're gonna do a little bit of a quick wipe down of everything because it is dusty and we do have dogs. And we're gonna hopefully see some cool results. But this stuff does work. I'll be interested to see what the difference is. I'm being told it's gonna be noticeable because, you know, here in the South, we've been in a heat warning forever. So this is what we're working on this morning before I go into work. We'll let you guys know how the results go. Also, it is worth mentioning is that if you haven't opened up your windows in a while, like we haven't because of the heat, when you go to open these up, they're gonna stick. And so what I always do is I just put a little bit of tension, and I don't know if you can hear that, but we don't want to break, we don't want that seal to tear, so we're just gonna be nice and gentle with it. And then once it gets hard, we're gonna wait it a little bit. You can hear that stuff just in case they need to work that. But if you're ever messing with your windows and you haven't opened them in a while, that's just be slow and patient. It always opens up. If you just crank it open, you're actually gonna tear up your seal. Okay, so you've made it this far in the video. You're probably thinking, well, why don't I just buy it and install it myself? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that we tried that and we did not have the quality of results that we wanted, simply because we didn't have the knowledge set and the skill, and quite frankly for me, the patience to install the off-the-shelf tint that you could buy at any one of the big box stores. You pay for what you get, and what we got was amazing results. Results that were noticeably different from the moment it was installed to now, where we just enjoy having our windows open again.
All right, so Daniel just left. All of our windows are tinted, and it is incredible to see this much daylight in our rig. We usually only open up the curtains and pull everything back when it's fall or winter, because that's when it's actually the most comfortable. And then later in the winter, we have to seal everything back up because it gets cold. But already, I mean, it's warm because there's sun on it, but with that, I think the 53% resistance on it, I'm almost convinced that we don't have to put up our thick solar curtains, and we don't have to put up the silver foil to really keep that heat out. So I think we're gonna ditch the foil. I think we'll pull our black shades down, and then we'll put our blue curtains up, but purely for aesthetic. I do not think that I don't think we actually need those thick curtains anymore. This is awesome. The dogs are already loving it. Now it's time for me to put my house back together. But thank you so much, Tint Shop in Weatherford, Texas. Daniel was awesome. It's incredible to see that we can have our dungeon turn into a room full of light now. So thank you so much.
Okay, so here in a second, I'm gonna pop up two graphs. Probably should put it down here so you can see it, but two graphs here and here. And on those graphs, we have two snapshots, one from July 3rd to July 17th, which is before we had the window tint, and then one from I think July 26th is the date I chose, to August 10th. And when you look at these graphs, you're gonna see that they look very similar. But there's a scale difference, because before we had got the window tint, we actually hit above 80 degrees for a couple of days, and so it shows it on from 60 to 85 degrees, whereas the next one shows from 66 degrees to 80 degrees. I couldn't adjust that date based off of the information I get from the temp stick data. But the big difference is this, with the windows open, this is how we have been living post window tint, which is amazing. We didn't get into an RV so that we could walk into a dark alley of a house. We didn't do that. We did that so we could look at nature outside. And so you're not going to see a huge temperature difference, but the difference is we opened up our windows every day. We were able to do this at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when it was 115 degrees outside and enjoy it without our house getting so warm that it was uncomfortable. So take a look, pause it, whatever you want to do to look at this. If you want to mute me. But again, cannot back this up enough. You want professional window tinting. One thing that I didn't touch on was how much this cost, and that's going to be 100% dependent on where you are, what kind of rig you have, what kind of windows you have, how many windows you have, etc., etc., etc. I will tell you this, it cost us approximately $2,300, give or take, because we also got my wife's car tinted at the same time, so it was all rolled into one price. But you pay for what you get, and we went with the best, and we went with the company that had the best reviews, that was recommended by fellow coworkers. That's what we did. And so I highly encourage you to do the same and to do your own research, because it may be different for you based off of your lifestyle. Now, if you are a weekend warrior, so to speak, I don't really like that term, but if you are a person who only casually RVs, is this a good investment? I'm gonna go ahead and say yes, 100%, because when you get to your RV park for the weekend, you want your house to be cool. You want to be comfortable, or your rig to be cool, not your house. We call it a house. You want your rig to be cool and stay cool, because chances are you're outside in the sun, getting hot, doing fun things, having a great time, but you want to be able to walk in and be like, oh, it feels so good in here. Worth it, 100%. Doesn't matter if you're full-time on the road, full-time living in one location, or you're just, you know, out to have a good time on a weekend. Last but not least, we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and you're new to us, welcome. Smash the subscribe, hit the like button for us. And if you're one of our subscribers already, thank you. You know, we appreciate the support you guys give us, and we enjoy cataloging our journeys and our adventures and our modifications that we do with RVs and sharing them with you guys. So thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.